Okay, we were having some issues there with sound, so this is part two with Andy from Thou, and hopefully this time we can hear each other. Woohoo!
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yay.
I don't know what the fuck happened then.
I'm just gonna assume it was my fault, but
I have no
that's kind
idea.
of my
It just went.
that's my way anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I was saying, obviously, yeah. Can you tell us one of them, of the covers that you've done?
Oh, Alice in
Of,
Chains covers? Yes. So
mm,
we did Them Bones.
yep.
That was the last one we did.
Hmm.
Um, we've done No Excuses, which we
Yep.
also recorded, and we have one that we haven't recorded, and that's Brother.
Oh, wow,
We
yes.
and we did that on the tour, a tour we did recently where we were doing a bunch of acoustic sets,
Acoustic sets. Yep.
and so we were doing Brother acoustic, and then we did it loud a couple times too, which I thought was really good, but we didn't record it for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
so I didn't
really
want
like
to.
I like the one I like the right turn with Chris Cornell coming in.
Yeah,
That vocal combo. Um but like yeah, something like Love Hate Love or It Ain't Like That. Like, those kind of ones. Or
yeah,
yeah,
and
are really awesome.
we also almost recorded a Mad Season cover. I
Oh
can't remember.
wow. Mm.
No, oh, it was Lifeless Dead. We were gonna do that one too, but that never got around to it. I mean, whatever. There's a lot of
Well,
covers out there to get around to. Too
I
many.
think yeah, yeah. I
We've
think you
wasted a
need
lot of time on covers. Maybe we could
but
write
at
some of our
least
own music
but at
again.
least at least they're good ones, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, it's yeah,
down the
it's
track
fun to
maybe.
do. It's fun to do like when we
Oh, buffer.
don't have anything like if we're not working on a record or like we're kind of stuck in a rut. Like the covers are a good way to just like do something and play
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so that
Well,
that's part of the reason
there's
we've done some of these.
you could always do a mini lane EP.
Yeah, maybe just like
I'm
six or
just,
seven,
I'm,
eight, nine
yeah,
tracks. It's the big deal.
maybe you could chuck, yeah, exactly. Chuck in like, I don't know. There's too many good Alice in Chains songs. It's funny that you mentioned it because I was actually on a Alice in Chains bender last night. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, I was pumping, yeah, going, starting from the start and just like
yeah.
yeah, pumping them through.
I think the self-titled record is the one that I've really been gravitating towards. I think that's a real
Hmm.
underrated record. I think Dirt was just such a huge record when it came out, and like is kind of like their landmark record. But
Yeah.
the
Mm.
there's a
I
lot
like
of good.
and I like the facelift.
Yeah, well, yeah, facelift, yeah. But I think that the self-titled record has some like gems that I think people overlook, and even the singles from that record are just I don't know. You can see how the band was like really evolving at the
Yeah,
time while still sounding like themselves, and that's just something I'm always really fascinated by with bands.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like I don't know, that's something I hope that like we can try to accomplish or have accomplished. I don't know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
not sounding like yourself but still making it new and
New, yeah.
like you could argue there's an argument to be made that the Alice in Chains self-titled record was their best record. I think like you can make
Mm.
that argument, and I think that's something that Matthew and I always talk about how you know every band their newest record should be their best record, and if it's not, then they're not doing it right, and they need to try
Yeah,
harder. And if we
yeah,
ever get to
yeah.
a point where our newest record isn't our best record, then we should hang it up. Which I mean, I'm glad we didn't do that, but uh, but it's something to strive towards, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think I have an embarrassing Alice in Chains story because I walked past, I was in Chinatown and I walked past Sean Kinney
Mm-hmm.
and didn't know, didn't just froze and went, Sean Kinney, and that was it. And then he looked and he like looked at me and was like, lunatic. And then I was like, get walking. Just like just literally just yelled Sean Kinney at his face. and then kept walking. And I
I
was like,
wonder,
oh my God. I was like, that's so
I,
bad.
but I wonder if a guy like that, I wonder if a guy like that gets recognized all that often. Because, you know,
Well,
he
he did
was,
look quite confused, I gotta say. I don't know if he was confused because he was like, what? Or confused because he's like, who, what the fuck is this loony? Like, but it was like very loud. And I think it was just like, I was drunk and very excited. And I
naturally.
just walked, I was just walking down the street like normal person. And walked past Sean Guinea, which
Yeah,
doesn't happen. So I was like, there wasn't there was no holdback. It was just like Sean Kenny in his face.
like a
And I was
visceral
like,
reaction. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I hope he doesn't. He's probably forgotten. He's probably had way more horrible than me as some crazy woman in Australia just yelled at my face and then walked away.
You might not have been the only one, you know. Maybe, maybe Australia in
Yeah.
particular is
Well,
just
it's
maybe
like
it's the Sean Kenny land. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, he looked. Yeah, like I said, he looked confused. So maybe he didn't think he could be recognized. He goes, or maybe he just was like, "You're a fucking creep." But either way. But yeah, you've done. I was gonna say you've also. Yeah, you have done. You've spent a lot of time on covers. Like I was gonna say you did that awesome one of "Terrible Lie" by Nine Inch Nails
Yeah,
as well,
sure.
which is
Yeah.
a brilliant song and brilliant album. Pretty Hate Machine. Um,
Yeah, I was just listening to a song from that record the other day, and I was thinking about how remarkable it was that, you know, Trent Reznor's voice is just not that good, you know, like in
mm.
fact, if you just take it on its face, like without if you didn't know anything about Nine Inch Nails and you heard it for the first time today and you listen to his voice, you'd be like, dude, this guy's so nasally and just like whiny and like uh it's not good, but something about the time that it came out
Yeah.
and just like it's passable.
Well,
Like
it
I don't know.
worked with the time, and I think that like when it came out, it was like that big goth kind of like he was like there was like a goth champion, the whingy. The album was kind of like the album to like all your ex-girlfriends or something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
early
the
incel anthem.
yeah, so it kind of like the nasally sounding kind of came coming and the that whingy kind of thing
Yeah.
worked with it. And I love that album, so I'm not bagging it in any way,
No,
but
no, and I'm not either.
that
I
that's
love
the
that record too,
way
but
that's the way it kind of worked.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I remember going to like huge warehouse parties and things like that were full of like crust punks and goths and whatever, and they'd always be playing that album, and there'd always be someone there like, oh, this whingy fucker, he just can't get over his fucking ex, like stop whinging about it, like and it was
yeah.
always
I
like
know.
it was always an ongoing joke, but
Yeah,
it is a brilliant album.
I mean, yeah.
um
It's funny the things that we forgive in the name of music that we're nostalgic for, or music that
yeah.
hits a certain just hits a certain piece of us. You know, like for instance, like I would say, like the Smashing Pumpkins are arguably my favorite band, really,
uh,
when I think about it.
um
But
when it
Billy Corgan's voice, not good, not good stuff, dude. Like,
No,
but
not
he,
when he does solo. His solo stuff, I'm a
well,
bit,
that's
ooh.
even yeah, that's
That
unforgivable.
when he does,
But even his voice on my favorite songs of his, if I take
yeah.
them at face value and without all the nostalgia and without all the great songwriting, like I'm just like, dude, this dude's voice is awful. But
Well,
it
I
just
think it,
it works, you know.
yeah, and I think it's also reminiscent of that. It was that late '80s, '90s period where it was like DIY. Anyone can be in a band, and like you just anyone sang, and it
Yeah.
just came out how it came out. Like you weren't a singer, you know what I mean? Like you weren't. Whereas now, I think that bands are so much more conscious about getting people who can sing or who've learnt to sing or that kind of
Well,
thing.
I think there's a lot of bands now that and I mean, I guess some of them understandably so. There's a lot of bands that are just like, all right, what do we need to do to make it to where our band can accomplish X, Y, and Z, you know?
Mm,
Um, which you know is a pretty normal thing. But I think part of that means like we have to make sure we sound a certain way and present
mm,
ourselves a certain way. and I think that sucks out a lot of the weirdness and the kind of stuff that makes bands actually memorable.
Yeah, yeah.
Is like they're really just shooting themselves in the foot when they like are just trying to polish everything just so
Too much,
and make it
yeah.
palatable, or
Because
are trying to follow the trends and figure out what's hot and like what do we need to
yeah,
sound like, and are we gonna do the gothic revival thing? Are we gonna death metal's back, or are we doing
yeah,
that, and
exactly, yeah.
whatever it is like.
I
And I
feel,
think
yeah, and that's why I
people
feel
fall
like
into that trap. Yeah,
that time
but
period, people didn't care so much, I guess. But like, I mean, Siamese Dream is one of my favorite albums ever made.
same, yeah,
Like,
that and Melancholy are my two big
are your
albums
two
for
faves?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, yeah, yeah. Siamese is like every song on that is phenomenal and amazing. And I can listen. You know how there's certain albums where they say, you can't listen to them start to finish without maybe skipping one song
yeah.
or whatever. And it's like that Siamese Dream is one of those albums that I can it's
Yeah,
flawless from start to
that's true
finish.
for me too. Even the singles that I've heard a zillions, like even like Today or Disarm, like I
Yeah.
can actually still like if those songs come on the radio, I can actually listen to that.
Oh
Whereas with a
yeah.
lot of other bands I know, or a lot of other bands I like, I can't do that. And same with Alice in Chains actually. Outside of maybe like Man in the Box, which I think I could probably do without hearing again, but
Because it was
most
on
of
all
their
the time.
yeah, it was
But
beat
if
to
but if
death.
if Wood comes on, I still sing it. I'm still into it.
So right, Wood is arguably the best single of the '90s in my opinion. It is
Oh
just like
yeah,
it is
it's
just the
so
ultimate
good.
'90s song.
And do you remember the film clip? Oh my God, like
Yeah,
his
yeah,
his look in that film clip was legit. And then it was like all the others had long hair, and then he had his look was just
yeah. It's
like
so funny with them too, like them starting out as like sort of a not quite hair metal band, but like they
yeah,
were kind of like riding that wave when they first started, and like
yeah.
the transition from hair metal dude to grunge guy really just meant you just stop putting product in your hair, I guess. You just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
let it go and I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
trade your clothes in or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I've been thinking about that song a lot lately. And the other thing I was thinking about that song is how it seems like a great karaoke song. 'Cause I was trying to think of songs that I would do if I was going to do karaoke again, whenever we're able to go in public again. And I
Yeah,
was thinking about
yeah.
that song, but as soon as you try to sing along to it, you're like, man, this is a really hard song to sing. Like
It
his
is.
range is
Yeah,
incredible, and
it's
he's
not
just
as
belting it out. Yeah, he must
it's
be
not as
pretty brave.
catchy. It's not as
Yeah,
catchy as you think it. Like it seems like it's quite easy and catchy, but it's not at all.
yeah.
Like so you kind of like,
That and
yeah,
it's also it's a weird song too because the structure of it, it's essentially it's like verse chorus is a guitar solo, and then it ends on the bridge, which I think is just really weird. Like it just ends that way. Like, I don't know if that's something they even thought about, but like it's one of the few songs you hear on the radio
yeah,
where that's something that happens. I don't know. I find stuff like that fascinating because I'm
yeah.
a
But it's
really
like,
cool guy.
and it's, but it's also like instantly recognizable as
Sure.
well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And the tone of it.
as
Yeah.
soon as you hear that, like that first little intro, you're like, yeah, know what it is.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah. The bass
design,
tone. Yeah.
like yeah, immediately what it's gonna be. And
Yeah.
like yeah, in during this lockdown, I've been definitely gone through a revisit of a lot of these bands, like early Soundgarden, like Bad
Sure.
Motorfinger, and like all that, like and like how like just being like how epic did they sound, like
Seriously. Yeah. And not to mention at the time they were, if I'm not mistaken, they were the first of the bands in their scene to really get massively popular. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
all the like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and those bands were still opening up for Soundgarden at that time,
yeah, yeah,
and it's actually interesting. I read an article a while back in Rolling Stone about Nirvana's original second guitarist. I think his name's
yep,
Jason Everman.
yes,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and so he got kicked out of Nirvana.
Sorry, I said it like I know him, like I'm besties with him.
Jason, my
Yes,
dude.
yeah.
yeah, he got like kicked out of Nirvana, and then which would be the biggest band in the world, and then
Hmm.
incredibly got an offer to be in Soundgarden, and then
Yeah.
somehow within 6 months managed to get kicked out of Soundgarden too. And then
Yeah.
he joined the army, and
Wow.
he said that in boot camp his drill sergeant would like just just drill into him about being in Nirvana and would make fun of him and all the people in his
Oh,
in his all that stuff,
brutal.
and he ended up going to the Iraq War and all this stuff. It's the crazy trajectory for like and
Wow.
and how it must feel to look at your peers who went on to become these massive rock stars and stuff. And
Well, it's the same with Chad. That
sure,
with
oh yeah, that's another. He's the Pete Best of the
you know,
bunch. Yeah, it's just like,
and they didn't want, and there was a whole lot of controversy about him being allowed to attend
oh
um
right, the in the rock,
Hall of
yeah, the Hall
Fame.
of Fame thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and like there was this strange argument going on where yeah, it was like one side,
God, it
with
just
Courtney
sucks to
with
be him.
yeah, and it was like yeah, like I think it was like Courtney and Chris were like he should 100% be here.
Yeah, of course,
And yeah,
he built that thing.
I think maybe it was more the Dave Grohl team that was not keen on him being there, which I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
is a bit rude. Like, because he was hugely a big part of it in the beginning, and was very very close with Kurt. So
yeah,
it's
of
kind of
course.
shit that they even had to have that discussion. I can
Yeah,
kind
imagine that. It's like,
I can get the Jason Everman thing, but Chad like was a big part. You can kind of
yeah,
think,
no doubt,
hey,
he's on the record. I mean, what are you gonna do?
yeah,
Like
you can't
also
just
he needs this man. Just cut the dude a
just give
break.
it
Come
to
on.
him. Yeah, it's like he's not doing anything else.
for
Let him have this fucking moment. Like this is
for
like
all I know,
I
maybe
mean,
he's
I
got a
wouldn't.
very fulfilling life. I don't know. Maybe he has
Who
a very
knows? Like
fulfilling job and a nice house somewhere. And
I might have to. I'm gonna Google him later and see what the guy does now, and
I
see
hope
where
he's
he's at.
okay.
But
You let
like,
me know if he's okay.
yes, yeah, I will, because I feel like, come on, man, he was a cool dude. Like, because I think he used to be Kurt's housemate, and they had cats together. And
Yeah, yeah,
there's all
yeah.
these really old photos. Yeah, and I was like, Kurt would have wanted him to be, a part of it. I'm sure. So yeah,
Probably.
but yeah, give him a damn award. Just send him like a fucking replica.
Yeah,
Like, come
Dave.
on.
We're
But
really giving Dave the business on this in this interview.
we
I hope he's
are, yeah.
watching,
I hope it. Yeah, I'll be banned from everything. You'll be like, ban that bitch from anything. I know this person, ban them all. Um, but the thing is, I thought Dave was the bee's knees when he was in Nirvana. But yeah,
Sure.
it's just post Nirvana. I lost a lot of interest in him because I just was like, this is dad rock,
Well,
like
good for the
top
dads then.
top 40 shit. You know what I mean? So it just
I don't know.
lost me.
Maybe we just don't understand. Maybe he's just on a different level,
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us that are the people that
We
aren't really.
suck. Yeah, we suck. Well, he seems like a cool guy, and from a lot of people that I've heard of, like that know him personally, like have said he's the best fun ever.
Sure, but
But
it's like me and my bandmates always say, nice just isn't enough.
yeah,
You know,
sometimes no,
you know.
no. Give Chad. I'm gonna start
Feel
a.
like that?
I'm gonna start a campaign.
Nice.
Give Chad recognition. Damn it.
Yeah,
A GoFundMe. Like I'll find out where he's at,
yeah.
what he's doing, and we can
Give
help him out.
give
I'm gonna
Chad some
start
money. He might be okay.
a.
We don't know, and none of
I
us are
know we
gonna
don't
Google
know.
it. I refuse to Google it.
I'm
Just
go-
send him the
I'm
money.
I'm gonna Google and I'm gonna find out, and then I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna
Okay,
find out
thank
if
you.
he's okay.
Check in on our boy. Make sure he's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Our sweet summer child.
Sweet little guy. Yeah, yeah. I want to know what happened to him, where he ended up.
I hope he's
Make
alive.
sure
That'd
he's
be really
okay.
sad if you went and Googled him and he's not alive.
Oh,
That would be so sad.
he's definitely alive. I know that.
Okay. Well, I hope
Um,
he's happy too.
so that's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's the
Google
same.
if he's happy.
Chad, are you happy?
It's
No,
just Chad Channing happy.
That would be weird. But I mean, it's like Darcy as well. She moved out to like some weird ass farm in the middle of nowhere, and
Sure.
like whatever, and lives like this weird, really strange kind of existence,
Yeah.
as well. Um, yeah, but I wanted, I was dying. No one's brought them out, Smashing Pumpkins here. I really
Hmm.
wanted that that recent tour that they did.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was like, but if like I have a love-hate relationship with Billy, like I think most people do, but
Oh, absolutely.
but like he would. I just want him to like. I'm like, just swallow your pride and do a Siamese Dream tour. Just do it. Do you know how much? I'm like, do you know how much it would sell out? You would
I mean,
sell
yeah,
out every single show. Because the problem
that's
with the other things, I guess, is that some people don't want to hear the later stuff, or
no one
like
does.
that's
We
what I
can say it.
mean.
It's
So
okay. We can say it. No one wants to hear it.
yeah, like we don't, and like so it's like I mean, I like like can't even remember. This is how I can't even remember the album, but the one Bullet with Butterfly Wings, that kind of that his stuff was good or whatever, and then like and then it just but the
Yeah,
newer stuff
like
is like
I think for me it's like Adore was okay,
mm,
and then the whatever the ones Machines of the Gods, or
Machine, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
that
it starts
that
getting a
was the
bit
one where they lost me. Except for there's one song on that record called "Stand Inside Your Love," which
yes, it's a
is
beautiful
arguably
song.
one of their best songs ever.
It's a
But
great
then the
song,
rest of the
yeah.
album is just complete crap, and
Yeah.
anything he's done after that has been garbage.
And his solo stuff is bad. I was listening to it the other day and I was just like, oh, what are you doing? Philly,
Yeah,
come on.
and he just sucks as a person too. It's like
That's what I
it's funny.
hear. He's
It's
really
funny that
good.
like
He's
all
really
the
good.
people that I loved when I was a kid,
Mm.
they pretty much are all complete garbage. But I guess
I
that's
think
just a
this.
numbers game, though. I
It's
mean, it's bound
hard
to
to
happen.
tell. Yeah, yeah. I think with Billy, it's a I think it's what do you call it? I think it's more of a depends on who you're speaking to type scenario.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
he's nice to some people really love him and he's really nice to them, and some people not so much. Whatever,
he he's got some weird political thing happen. I don't know what's going on.
Well, yeah, if you talk about that stuff, yeah, 100%. And
I
like
hope
the WWE and what the fuck was that about? Like, and like but if you yeah, like but him as a when you take all that crazy shit away, like I think yeah, like there's certain people that like, um
sure.
I've got a friend who's an author and she's really close with him and he's amazing to her. And I know he's really close with like Courtney still, and like they all get on like a house on fire or whatever. But like but then sometimes he says some really weird shit that you just like what? He's also have you seen him recently? He's also ballooning in very
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's okay.
He's
Uh,
like
I just hope
massively ballooning. Like
I
I
just
was
hope
like,
he's
holy,
happy. I just hope
I'm
he's
pretty.
happy and safe and
He's
deep
rolling in
within
the.
his. I hope he's deep
He's
within his bunker with
fine.
his prepper supplies, getting ready for the new world order to take over. As long as he's prepared, that's all.
Oh,
I just
he's
worry
just
about
doing
Billy sometimes, you know.
he's just sitting in a little room. You can see it. I think it's on Facebook. He's just sitting in this weird little room, which could be a bunker. Um, doing IGTVs and stuff.
Oh,
And
really?
like and
So
Facebook's he's on his own, yeah. And
he's like the guy in the truck. He's the guy ranting in the truck now
he's
about,
like and then he's like,
aliens or
let's
whatever.
he'll sing a song or whatever, and then he'll be like, okay, now we're gonna talk about the something blah 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 guitar from Gish
Yeah, that's cool.
for an hour. Just this the particular guitar that I played in one on Gish.
Interesting.
It's really yeah, it's like I don't know if it's saved anywhere, but yeah, it comes up on Facebook video sometime and then sometimes on Instagram. And he'll either be playing or ranting, one of the two, about
You know,
something.
maybe unfettered access to musicians was a mistake. Maybe
So
social
some
media
yeah.
the way that
some
social
you
media
should
allows
see
you
it.
access to an artist, maybe that's just a mistake. Because,
Or they should
or maybe
be
it's a
cut off.
blessing that we can all see how boring,
Yeah, yeah,
all musicians really are. I'm sure that's what the
yeah.
people watching this are thinking.
They're just like,
Look,
but
I can
you
listen
know,
to any old 37-year-old man in my town rant about Alice in Chains. I don't need to go on Instagram to watch.
yeah, true, true. But like, I mean, the thing is, I guess, like for a lot of these things have been really good because they're just like, let's talk shit about
Yeah,
whatever
no, of
shit.
course.
It's more about like, connecting rather than being like, hi, I'm from Rolling
No,
Stone,
I get
one,
it.
two, three, four, for there.
No, I
So
get it.
it's kind of boring, and I feel like, and people like get like what they feel like they're getting, like the insight, some kind of insight into the person that's like a bit more personable.
Sure, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm also someone who complains about the way about a lot of interviews where people are just like, I don't complain about everything, but I do complain about a lot of the interviews where people are just like, I don't know, just asking things that they could Google or just like the same. You guys are from the swamp. Tell us all about your swampy riffs and your, we have a gator head. Actually, we do.
It's
But
funny because when I first heard of you guys, and it was like Baton Rouge, that there's Baton Rouge in France,
mhm.
and that's where I thought you were from originally. I was like, oh, Baton Rouge, because I've got some friends who live there, and so I was like really confused. I was like, there's a Baton Rouge somewhere else, and then yeah, and then I saw, yeah, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I was like, shit, didn't know there was another one. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
there's not a
learned
whole
something
lot.
new.
There's not a whole lot going on there. You need to really concern yourself with, honestly. Um, but I don't know. People are very hung up on the whole like we're from Louisiana playing slow music and the
Really? Yeah. I mean,
swampy. Tell us about I Hate God and like
oh dear.
does the swamp help you write riffs and I don't know. It's just there's just this fascination with it that I don't know. I think if people spent more time in South Louisiana, they'd be like, I don't know. It's just not.
You just
There's a
chat.
tendency to like mythologize places, the
Yeah,
same that
yeah.
people do with other places. Like people do it with anywhere where a scene where there's a scene. I'm sure
Sing,
Seattle has the
yeah.
same problem.
Seattle, yeah.
It's like ooh the
Yeah, yeah.
fog and the rain. You guys must
Rain,
be so
yeah.
moody and dark. And it's like I don't know. Yeah, okay, maybe, but like really, I'm just waking up in the morning and having my coffee. I'm not.
You're just doing your
You
normal
know.
shit.
I
And
mean, I
like
do
that,
go to the swamp and I do take pictures of alligators, but that doesn't have anything to do with the music I write.
the
I don't know.
music, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just I don't know. We
Yeah.
just don't care about being part of the like the southern the lineage of southern heavy
Yeah, like where
bands
you
really.
are, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
almost
I don't
incidental
really,
in a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't feel like, yeah, I don't think like the geography of where a band's from is particularly important. I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
not necessarily. And it's funny too
like,
because like I am very happy to be from Louisiana and I do love Louisiana and I don't intend on leaving Louisiana and all those things are true.
yeah.
But when it comes to music, I don't know. I think it's. I wish it inspired me more. I wish I could step out my door and like I
Why
don't know,
don't you
see the
start like
termites and I don't know, think or help me with some. I don't
start
know.
putting some lyrics together for Brian about swampies and alligator watching.
Yeah, maybe we should go just full on, lean
Maybe
really hard into the Louisiana thing, and all the lyrics will just be about literally just about alligators
get some
and
of those ridiculous fucking pants, with the with the braces, and then
oh,
just do a film clip, all of you standing in the fucking swamp.
I think maybe we should go full like swamp thing. Like we get
Oh,
the
with the
moss.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
just get covered in moss. We'll perform like that and only sing about alligators and jambalaya and yeah. If you're gonna do it, don't half ass it. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
just do it all the way,
Talking to you,
100%.
I hate God. Start playing shows in the actual swamp if you want to be real with it. Calling you
Yeah.
guys out.
Get in that fucking boggy swamp. Um, but yeah, I know we're just chatting the shit. But I was gonna say in terms of lyrics, I guess a real
Hmm.
question um is like how do you guys like work around the dynamic of lyrics? Is that something you guys all kind of think about, or is that Brian
No,
brings that
no,
in?
not really at all. We pretty much let Brian handle all of that. He'll sometimes send them to us first, or at least he used to. And there's been times where like
But now he's dropped the
Matthew or
ball.
I, what's that? Oh yeah.
But now,
uh, there's been times where like some of us have had input on it, um, but it's mainly just it's just him, and he's going for it, and he lets us do most of the music. I don't know. It's been different now though. The music has changed.
you
Now
make you're making him sound like a punisher. Moo.
he's watching right now, so I don't want to say anything. uh, no, but it's been different, the writing process, because we're much more collaborative than we used to be. Because it used to be really it'd be me and Matthew would do 99% of the writing, like music wise,
Yeah.
and now even if we're still the people that bring stuff to the table, like everyone has a say so now. Yeah, so he's saying it. You're a punisher. There, I said it. Uh, yeah, like now everyone kind of has input on the music, and it's like it's a much more collaborative process, which is cool. So that's been a big change,
Yeah.
and kind of a hard one because we have six people in our band now, and it's and with
That's a
the Emma
lot. Yeah, a
record,
lot of
and with
yeah.
the Emma record we had seven people, so it's like,
Yeah.
if one person didn't like something and they could voice it, like their opinion is given just as much weight as anyone else's. So it's like
Mm.
we had a lot of let's try this because this person said they might like it that way, and it gets
Yeah,
tedious, but
yeah.
it does make for I don't know, some very focus grouped writing, I guess. Get a lot of opinions on it. I don't know. It can be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess with is there particular? I mean, Brian's there, so he can hear it.
Yeah.
He can add if he wants. But I was gonna say, is there particular themes or like anything that's like what you guys kind of tend to gravitate towards for each album or overall?
Like thematically, like with lyrics, you mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think that we usually do have, I won't say like a thesis statement, but we usually do have some sort of idea we're going for.
Hmm.
Um, for instance, like when we did Heathen, we had
Yeah,
this
like
like
the swamp.
the swamp. Yeah. Like with Heathen, we had this like loose idea about it being this very like back to nature kind of,
Crocodiles.
yeah, that's what I meant. Back to the swamp. Yeah, like this is real like back to nature kind of like vibe, and very I don't know. There's a general idea we had behind it, but Brian's the one that like kind of narrows that down, and like
Yeah.
and focuses it into a bunch of different arenas within the album itself. So I don't know, and the themes can be pretty vague too, so that there's a lot of room to play with. But
Yeah. So is it kind
and
of
yeah,
I guess like it's more out rather than it's not like a personal stuff or
I think that it's not
mixture.
explicitly
It's
personal. It's no one reading it would see that. I don't think that anyone, yeah, no one reading it would see that as personal, but I think it does hold meaning. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, except for I'm sure Brian. It holds meaning for him, but like
yeah.
for me, like reading some of the stuff and the time that we'll be writing the stuff, like usually the songs remind me of that time or like things I was going through at that time, and so like there's a lot of for me personal meaning within the songs that aren't explicitly stated by the songs.
Yeah.
But I think some of them are, especially with the later stuff. I feel like some of them are, I don't know, sort of broad enough to where like there's a definite theme, but you could interpret it a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I think that people do tend to kind of see what they want to see in some of it. Some of it's a little more to the point for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only interpret uh, like songs about killing cops like one way, I guess.
Yeah, kind of speaks for itself.
Well, we hope so. I don't know. Then again, people are pretty. Some people are
Well,
pretty
yeah,
dense, and they're like, I don't get it. Why did y'all write a pro cop anthem? I don't know. They
yeah,
don't get it.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I think Brian. I just the adage of Brian was, one of the best things that could happen to the band. Like I think, um, not only just like the energy he brings when you on the live shows and just the aggressiveness and that rawness of his voice, but also I think it's his ideas and the thematics and the aesthetics and stuff that are
Yes,
behind him that
that's definitely something that I don't think that most of us would have like been able to really tie together. So that's a good
mm,
thing. I mean, it's just not really my strong suit for sure. Um,
yeah.
so I don't know. Yeah, it was good to have someone to like kind of like we would we would like mold something and then he would like chisel away at it and kind of give it some defining features in terms of theme and that kind of thing. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's pretty helpful.
Yeah, yeah. And I was going to say, there's two questions that I always love asking because I just love the answers. So,
Hmm.
one is, do you have any stories about live touring, major fuck ups? Like where
Oh
shit goes real fucking wrong. Because I love these stories and I love how people, it happens to everyone at least once. Like
yeah.
something really nuts happens and you just like what was
Uh,
that?
no, no, no. Well, I was turning back to see if Casey could remember.
What?
But
What do you want from
she was asking me about a show we played where something went really wrong. And is there something off the top of your head you can think? I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe if Brian and Mitch are still in here, maybe they can chime in
I
with
think
something.
Brian is, yeah, yeah.
I'm having a hard time like pinpointing something where like I don't think we've done anything to where we had to stop.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
The show didn't have to stop, I don't think, right?
no, but most of the time I've been playing with you, there have been three guitars, and I distinctly recall someone stepping on their instrument cable and one of the guitars not being there and it not being immediately super noticeable.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's happened before. Now that we have three guitars, I guess we can kind of mask our mistakes a
Yeah,
lot
easier.
easier, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was
But
because
I don't know that
one.
anything's happened to where like irreparable damage was done. I mean, like I've definitely had very bad shows where all my equipment has failed. We've had a show where like Mitch's bass amp caught on fire. I guess
Oh, that's a
that
good one.
we played a basement in Chicago. I mean, it's not a great story. We just our gear just sucks. That's all it is. Uh,
But like
like
that's pretty cool that it set on fire and didn't just go
yeah,
like at least
yeah,
it's set on fire. If you're gonna
yeah,
do something shit, do it real shit.
sure. Yeah, we were just like playing. Yeah, we were playing a basement show in Chicago, like a matinee, and maybe three songs in, and Mitch's bass amp just started smoking, and we're like, all right, well, we don't have another amp, so you know,
That's the end.
peace to
Yeah.
you. um,
Yeah. No, because
but yeah, I don't know.
there's been a few funny ones. Like I was gonna say Mike from Russian Circles said that he was playing he started they played a song and they finished the song and then he started to play the next song and both the drummer and the bass player didn't start and they were just like going like this at him and giving him eyes and stuff and he was like not he was like just in his zone and was like I don't understand what they're trying to communicate and then he did the like then he like did the thing like where you kind of go backwards towards a drummer and they were like we just fucking played that song and he started to play it again. And so and they were just like, "What are you doing?" And yeah, but he was too far into it, and they're like, he just started on the same exact song over again.
Well, I think I think in the case of our band, there'd probably be a lot of people that wouldn't even notice if we played the same song twice.
Well, I said that to him. I said they probably wouldn't know. They just think you were doing
Yeah,
for Russian circles. You know, a song is at least 10 to 15 minutes
yeah, yeah,
a
sure.
go. So I was like, you know,
Yeah,
they just you could have just done it and said it was an extended version.
yeah, sure.
It's an
I
extended
think also,
alternative version.
yeah, I think we also benefit from just like being really loud and messy anyway. So like any major fuck ups, which I mean we've had plenty, but like any major fuck ups I think are like fairly forgivable because the music is already so chaotic in
Yeah.
its own way
What about
So
the
you
that
body
you
collabo set at Roadburn?
well okay, that's a good one. Yeah, so the we did the body collaboration at Roadburn.
yeah
Uh so we basically we practiced it before we left, and then we went on a tour separately, not playing any of those songs at all.
yeah
And then we met back up at Roadburn, and we're like, all right, let's do it. And you know, at Roadburn, the changeovers are really quick because there's so many bands playing in a day. So you get a quick sound check, and that's even if you're headlining, you get a quick sound check, and you know you're on, go for it. And there's people watching your sound check almost always. So
yeah.
we were doing that, and I swear I told the guy like we don't want smoke, you know, no smoke on stage. But
Yeah.
sure enough, first thing, just like I had the thing practically right next to me. It was just like the smoke was just going, and there's lasers, and we had two drummers for that collaboration,
Yeah.
and they were pretty far apart, and they couldn't really hear each other. No one could really hear anything. And the first song, we missed like pretty much every cue, and like the two drummers are playing different things, and the most incredible part is that we put this out on a record, which I had to be forced to do because I was like, no, we're not releasing this. But when I listen back to it, it's if you don't know the songs, it's not that bad. But so
I
we
was
did
gonna
that.
say, like,
Yeah, yeah.
did anyone else, like, did the crowd seem to notice, or is just you
I
guys
mean, who
like,
knows? In my mind, there's one dude who like is obsessed with the record,
yeah,
who's in there being like, God damn it. And I sympathize
yeah.
with that guy. And I don't want to
Yeah,
disappoint that guy.
there's always that one guy, and he's usually the Punisher. He's gonna come talk to you later.
Trying to wait there.
Yeah, so the other thing about that set, so we did our set, which we only practiced about 40 minutes of music, I think, if that. And so we finished, we walk off stage, and the crowd's like cheering for an encore. We're the last band on that stage that night, so there's no one waiting to get on. And we're like, all right, well, we don't have any more songs, so we definitely aren't going to do an encore. Like, what would we
Yeah,
do? We're not going to go out and play one of those songs again,
yeah,
like Russian Circles. uh, JK. Uh, so we're like, all right, not gonna happen. So we walk all the way back up to the green room, and then come back, and there's people are, you know, you got to imagine it's Roadburn, and it's like I don't know 11:30 at night, so everyone's just trashed, and they're just
yeah.
screaming, a bunch of drunk people screaming, and finally we're like, all right, we have to do something, like even if we just jam. And I was like, I don't want to jam, like never. I've sworn it off, like don't want to do it. But finally we're just like, look, it has to be done. Like we've got the people from the festival were like, go back out there. What are you doing? So we go back out there and we just jam. And I don't think it was particularly interesting, but people seem to like it. But anyway, so the end of it, you know, again, there's so much smoke on stage. So we finish the song. We all kind of one by one drop off. And then Chip he has a loop going, just a noise loop, super loud. And we all walk off stage. But Brian's on stage. He's crouched down with his back turned to the audience, just head
Hmm.
on the ground, while the noise loop is playing, and we still have our video thing is playing in the background too. And he sits there. The noise loop goes on for about, I mean, literally like 9-10 minutes, and they finally the sound guy cuts it off, and Brian gets up and he realizes everyone else is off. He thought
Gone.
we were all up there the entire time. he didn't realize he was the last one there. So he's just like, you could see him on the video too. He like gets up and he's like looking around and he gets on stage. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. I guess our shows are just very wholesome. We don't have a lot of we haven't fought anyone on stage yet. I don't think.
No,
Well,
no
although there has been,
vomiting or
although Brian has a good way of dealing with rowdy people at shows, or at least he used to. He would get into the crowd if a rowdy guy was going on, and he'd grab him in a big bear hug, and then he'd start licking the side of the dude's mouth, like the side of his cheek, and just lick him, and it would just freak the guy, just get freaked out, and just be like, "What is this dude doing?" And would eventually like stop like making trouble, and then
oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
He did that a couple times. But maybe he was
That's
just looking for an
awesome.
excuse to put his mouth on this guy. I don't know. Maybe he thought he was cute. I don't know.
Yeah, he might have been just, he had an urge he had to
Just looking for
fulfill.
a hottie in the crowd. Yeah. I feel you, man.
Oh God. Oh, that is a good one, I've got to say. I love watching them as well. I remember quite a few years ago I watched the Cult play, and
Mm-hmm.
and Ian Astbury went the wrong direction to get to leave, and
Yeah.
I was like the doors over here. And he just like walked over to a blank wall. And
Oh my God.
it was so funny, but it was because of the same thing, smoke.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Fucking
what's great about our shows is they're
the
so low
lights and
stakes.
smoke.
You know,
Oh, and
if
so
we fuck
he,
up at our shows, it's like, who even cares? You know,
yeah, yeah,
half the people are checked out anyway. You know.
yeah. I don't know how many people saw it because like it was so dark, but like I was right there, so I was like Helen Barrow, like he was like trying to walk into a wall, like and he had sunglasses on, and I was like, oh my God, and I was just
Oh
like
my God.
this way because it's
That's a
like
cautionary tale.
pitch black, too much smoke, and sunglasses on, not good. Like
Yeah,
and
that's a
all
bad
black
look.
and an all black wall. So the whole stage like is all black as well. So you can't
Gotta
see the door.
fire that stage designer. Yeah, the set designer.
I was
Yeah.
like, and he's wearing all black, and me and my friend were wearing all black. So you can just see white faces glowing on the
Yeah.
side of the stage. Yeah, that was very funny. But yeah, those stories are always good because I think that yeah, even if they're like just funny ones, they're good tour stories to have when you get older. It'll be
Yeah, for
funnier.
sure. Yeah, especially because most of our tours are just, I don't know, they're just very boring, I guess. We don't, I don't know.
Well, they're very like you've got a very DIY aesthetic as well, yeah, when it comes to
Yeah,
touring and that
yeah,
kind of thing.
we're not very smart. We do it the hardest way possible.
And what you just hire the shittest van you possibly can. Have you had all those like van? I always see like with Americans, obviously because you guys drive a lot when you tour, and
Hmm.
unless you're a mega band, you don't have that giant van. You just have a regular van. And I
Yeah.
always see like constantly like our brand, photos of like our van's broken down, our van's broken down, our van's broken down. I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right,
we've been pretty
maybe,
lucky. We've been fairly lucky with that. I mean, that's happened a bunch, but never, I don't think we've had to cancel a show because of it. So,
yeah,
that's at least there's that.
yeah, that's a good
We've
thing.
definitely run hours and hours and hours late to shows, but really we do that even when the van works. So I don't think the van can really account for that. We're just we're just bad people and, and are just can't be trusted to show up on time, and everyone hates us. So
Well,
anyway,
as long as you can get, well, like, you've got a bit of time, I guess, like because if there's a support or whatever, then you just like,
it's just for us. It's just the worst part of the day on tour is getting to the venue and being like, all right, 5 hours to kill,
oh,
you
it's the
know,
worst. The
anyone got the
sitting,
Wi-Fi? Yeah,
waiting,
like
yeah,
yeah, it's so we'd rather wake up and have a nice leisurely brunch and lay
yeah,
around, go to the bookstore.
And usually the green rooms and stuff or whatever are tiny or just fucking gross anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's even having green rooms is an improvement for the way that we used to tour for sure. So I don't know. I mean,
I mean, so some of the green rooms here, like you basically like you fit like,
I'm like, oh
five.
my God, free water. This is incredible. Oh my God, it's mineral water. This is unreal.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's insane. Yeah, I always thought that like America was better at touring, but from the more I hear about it, the
No,
more I the
no,
more I think no.
no. The first time we
'Cause
went to Europe was just a big wake up call. We are like, wow, this is people are
you
just
get
living
good
like this. Like
food.
they're
Yeah.
so nice. Like they take care of
Mhm.
you. And
Yeah. It's
America
usually
is just
the
like you're on your own. Just good
yeah,
luck.
yeah.
Also, we're not going to pay you very much. Best of luck.
Yeah, yeah. You hope you make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's going to be like 30 opening bands that all sound the same and have like they're all called like, Wizard Bog or whatever.
Or like I was gonna say even not I do like one or two of them, but there's like about 10 bands with the bong written in it.
Yeah, or the
Bong
or
bong what is it? Bongzilla, Bong Ripper, like
yeah,
whatever.
there's also well that's also the my friend Scott from Cullenwald City, he always called those thing doer bands, because it's always like
An
something something or
activity
like
based.
yeah, hammer swinger, axe thrower,
Axe grinder.
you know bread
Axe
baker,
grinder, yeah.
yeah, whatever, cupcake farmer, whatever it is. That's a little better. That's an improvement over most of them, I would say. Cupcake farmer would be probably
That
a
that that should be like a death metal solo side project. Oh, did we lose some? Oop.
metal project, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be great.
Oh
Cupcake
shit.
farmer.
Oh, there you are. Okay, hi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it went it went
cupcake
went
farmer.
weird for a bit. Just did a little something strange. Um, yeah, and then I was gonna say, yeah, another one that I love is asking what is your guilty pleasure and or um the thing you love to listen to and sing, but it's like daggy as fuck. Like for me, it's like like I like to listen to ABBA, sing all the words.
There's no shame in that. Come on, everyone loves ABBA.
No, but well, they
I
do,
know
but
what you mean,
it
though.
is funny. But you know what I mean? Like, or like, for example, I know, like, I know all the words to the Eagles songs, It's
Oh,
like,
okay, that is bad. I take it back.
that's bad.
You
That's
should
what I
feel
mean.
bad.
I
You're a
grew up,
bad person.
yeah, I know. I grew up, my dad played it all the time, so it's like almost ingrained in my head. And I can
Sure.
like, if the song comes on, it immediately I can sing along,
Yeah.
And there's like and of course Dolly Parton, like there's lots of like little things that
Love
I
Dolly.
will. Dolly's the bomb, and like there'll be like some little things that I'll listen to, and then I'll be like, oh, you might not want to like. Lots of people now, it's kind of cool to reminisce and be like, oh, I listen to Marilyn Manson, but like I listen to Marilyn Manson and not in a funny way, like like
Yeah, I mean,
you know what
sure.
I mean? Like, so it's like,
Yeah, no,
but now people are like, oh, he's cool now. Like, it's, but, at the time, I like, there's like loads of, older stuff, like,
yeah, yeah,
Beach Boys and stuff I'll listen to,
yeah. I know
you
what you
know.
mean. I certainly don't think of any of the music I listen. I certainly don't feel guilty about any of the music I listen to. And the older I get,
I guess it's more of
the
a
less I.
saying, than a,
But I know what you mean. Music that like that most people wouldn't be proud. Most people that
or,
listen to the music I listen to wouldn't be
or
proud
you
to.
wouldn't think that you listen to. For
Or
example,
sure, yeah, you wouldn't think they'd
like,
be into it. Sure.
yeah,
I
like
mean,
for
like,
example,
yeah,
Author and Punisher was like, I've been listening to reggae, and
yeah.
it was like,
So right.
I would
So
never have
I
picked
actually
that.
same for me. So I mean, I love 60s and 70s like rock steady and reggae, and I've been listening to that a bunch on this trip actually. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know, that music's just cool. I also love like lots of 80s music. I like late 80s, early 90s, like freestyle, music, and like
Yep.
weirdo, obscure, what we would used to call roller rink music. Just like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how to classify it. The technotronic, or some of those
Yeah,
really
yeah.
bad like early 90s bands. I mean, I love that stuff. I love Madonna and Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey,
Well,
and
yeah, there you go.
I even heard
Well,
a Celine Dion song yesterday, and I was like, this is kind of awesome. I like Tony Braxton. I mean, I don't know. I
see,
have a hard.
yeah. See, Tony Braxton, like, and
Tony
like,
Braxton's
yeah, like,
great. What are you talking about? It's great.
I don't
Uh,
even see.
Unbreak My Heart. That's an incredible song. Yeah, she's got great range.
I'm more of a like, man, I don't even think I like Celine Dion. I'm Madonna, 100%. I'm with you on Madonna. I'm more of a Madonna
Most people,
share.
most people are into Madonna, really. I mean, like at
Yeah,
least some era, you
some
know.
era, yeah. And then like I like Cher. I like old Cher.
Hmm.
Um, I fucking love a bit of old Bonnie Tyler.
Oh, Bonnie Tyler. Okay, not bad.
Total Eclipse of the Heart, the
Yeah,
best,
that's a jammer.
best. That's like a karaoke banger.
So, in the same vein, I like a couple of those Belinda Carlisle solo records.
Oh yeah.
Circles in the Sand, particularly,
Hmm.
I think is a great record. I mean, I love the Go-Go's too.
Yeah, yeah. What was the?
Always
I'm trying to
have.
think. Start dancing, summer rain, and then there was this heaven one. I can't think what that one was called.
I don't know.
She had a few
Um,
hits. She had quite a lot of hits over here.
yeah. But yeah, I like all that era of music, and like I listen to a lot of that stuff all the time. I listen to
Yeah, yeah.
Chris Isaak, Wicked Game for fun at my
Oh,
house all the time.
I
It's great
think I
stuff.
think Chris Isaac's a cool guy, though. I kind of think he's a cool guy,
I think so
and
too.
like
He
he's just like
he's like in the David Lynch universe too. So you can like
yeah, yeah,
there's some connection there. You can make him he could be cool if you think about him in that way. Yeah.
yeah. And I've seen him like talk about shit, and he's like a he's like the Jeff Goldblum of music. You know
Okay,
what
that's a
I
good way to
mean?
put it. Yeah, he's
Like
like the
he's like cool
older
about.
older, cool, sexy, still hasn't gone out of style kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so glad that as a society we've progressed from giving a shit about Bill Murray and thinking like Bill Murray is the like the person we all are gonna agree is like the good dude. I'm glad that we've
yeah,
all moved on to Jeff Goldblum now.
yeah. I
And
I
maybe to
am
a lesser
too.
extent David Duchovny too, I think is kind of
Oh yeah.
in
Do you?
that
I mean,
same realm.
like I'm a massive X Files fan, like
Hmm.
insanely, right? And any film that David Duchovny was in before X Files is like the worst film ever,
Yes, pretty bad.
and his acting was horrendous.
Yeah,
Like he was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and
classic.
his role
Who could
in that
forget?
was fucking yeah, brilliant film. But his role in that was so bad, and his acting, and it's just like, oh, David, thank God for X Files, it saved your life.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
And then of course he went on and did the Californication, which everyone seemed to really love, and
Yeah, I never watched
did
that show. I
well.
heard it was really good. I think Brian used to watch that
I
if I'm not
watched a bit
mistaken.
of it and it was really good, but I just didn't seem to catch on enough to watch it
Yeah.
all the way through. Yeah, but yeah, we're getting the kind of like countdown, so I should say thank you heaps for coming on
Yeah.
and just
Yeah, thanks for having me.
chat and shit, and
This is what
and
I've
then
been
we'll
doing during quarantine anyway. I've
yeah.
been doing this exact same thing just with people. I've been doing this with regular friends like all the time. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
it's a good way to stay sane during all this crap.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And looking forward to yeah, definitely to hearing this Emma album when it does surface. But
Can't wait.
I'll definitely I'll get a little bit of Emma's take on it when she comes on
Yeah, I
later
hope
in the
so.
month.
I hope she has nice things to say about us.
Oh, I'm sure she would. I don't think I've heard it. She's a very nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, I hope everything goes well with your all the COVIDness over there.
Yeah, thank
Um
you.
And you don't get, when you get home, you don't get swallowed in a swamp by a crocodile or, any crazy thing like that
Uh,
happen.
what a way to go, though. I'd have a good,
Oh, yeah.
that everyone
Yeah.
else would have a great, especially since you just told me not to. So then that
Yeah.
would really make for a good story if it happens. So
Just go stand around in there and try and,
yeah, yeah,
all right. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go. And yeah,
yeah,
thank you
yeah.
so much again. It was awesome.
Thank you, Renee. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right,
Bye.
see ya.